Yo guys, what's happening? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the day you complete on a property, completion day, what to expect, the steps, and the things you generally need to know when you're going through the process. Let me not waste any more time. Watch the video, enjoy. Peace. So typically, this is how the process goes. You find a property that you love, you put an offer down, the offer gets accepted, you go through your surveys, your checks and all that lovely good stuff. You go through what's called an exchange, where you exchange contracts with your with the opposite solicitors, and then lastly you complete, right? And so I'm focusing on the final stage today, which is completion. So my initial property, the first property I bought, I exchanged like a week before I completed. So essentially I exchanged, handed over my deposit, legally liable for the property, and a week later I got the call saying, yep, Michael, you're ready to collect the keys, come and collect the keys. And obviously, you know, I was very excited about collecting the keys for the property as well. I was just so ecstatic. I went to the estate agent, collected the keys, and then did the typical kind of run through around the property. So like, everyone always thinks like, oh, is there a massive hurrah, like what happens? So essentially when I collected the keys, I went to the house. At first I couldn't believe the house was mine. And then I just kind of did like my kind of welfare, is it welfare or like typical checks around the property. So just like safety checks and everything around. Does the locks work in all the rooms? Does the front and back door lock work? Are the lights working? Is the boiler working properly? What are any issues or things that I need to fix immediately? And just small little checks like that as well. Sometimes you can speak to the neighbors and stuff like that, but typically that's how it goes with a normal completion day. Like for me, obviously I'm a Christian, so I had to pray over the house as well, because you just do not know who's living in the property before you. So any bad vibes, bad spirits and everything like that, I had to get that out straight away. So typically that's kind of the process generally about the completion day. Like it's not as fancy as you think. You think that sometimes some companies and estate agents are really nice. They give you a bottle of wine, they give you like a card and stuff like that. But essentially completion day is all about you kind of get into the property, and it's very important for you to understand any problems or issues with that. So that's how a typical like completion day goes. Going into the second property now, it was very, very different. I literally completed and exchanged on the same day. So as soon as I exchanged, I completed. I think I exchanged like 30 minutes before I completed. That's when all the money left my account, and that's when I was liable for the property. And then I completed straight after, but it was a process that I knew that I was gonna do anyway. So I knew the steps, I knew the process, I saw the house, I knew all the bad, the ugly, and the really ugly about the property. But once I was all out on the open, I exchanged and completed, and that was it. But with my second property, I went through a process what's called direct to vendor, which basically means that I went directly to the buyers. So there was no kind of like middlemen. I didn't have an estate agent that had to kind of liaise on my behalf or anything like that. It was literally directly to the vendor, the person selling the property, via their solicitors, right? So the property wasn't listed. It wasn't on the market for very long. It wasn't on the market at all, actually. So what I did is that I realized the property was on for sale. I spoke about this in a prior video, so I'll kind of put that video somewhere here if I know how to. I go into a lot more detail about how that process went. But essentially, when I found out the property was being sold, I spoke to them. And I think this was a very important thing about how I built the communication with the vendor. So this kind of ties into the solicitor, and she was very important because she actually worked like the estate agent as well. So she was integral to the process. Any offers that I wanted to put on the property, I had to go through their solicitor. You could see kind of the conflict of interest already, because trying to negotiate a price when she represents them, it was very, very difficult. Managed to do it in the end. So if I got some videos, I'll put some videos of me going through the property as well. I do like the property.
Yeah, has a lot of potential, but it's just, but yeah, the back needs looking out. And extending. That's what I would be doing.
When will probate be granted?
I've not applied for it yet. Yeah, so you know, we've got time to play with. I hopefully will be doing it next week.
Okay. So this was the very first time I had any access to the property. As you can see, here's Veronica. She was basically explaining the situation about the property and the prior seller before, so the person that lived in the property before. I wasn't allowed to record, so I had to do this very much on the sly, because I wanted to see the property and kind of like make reference to it when I was back at home and just do my due diligence properly. So yeah, this is me. And this is us talking about the situation. After this, we had many more meets at the property, negotiating the price, trying to get the offer accepted, and so on and so forth. But this is kind of initially the inception and where it started. I even got a contract beforehand that I was able to get the keys before I actually got into the property. So that was one of the major differences, is that when you complete on a house, you only get the keys on the day of completion, right? For me, I got the keys a week before, even actually probably a bit more than that as well. So I'd already gone into the property, I'd already seen the issues and the problems prior. So unlike a typical process where you'd probably find out any major issues once you've bought the property, I was actually able to walk through the property unaccompanied essentially, and I was able to look at okay, this is going to be a problem, this is going to be a problem, and kind of make an informed decision based on that. I do think my situation was very unique, granted that I lived literally across the road from the property, so that kind of provided a lot more security from that perspective, that I was never running away or she knew where I was. But I kind of had to sign an agreement and I got permission for that, so that was really, really good. I'm going to put a video now of my actual process of my emotions and experience actually about how I felt during the completion day, because I think one thing I'm kind of negating to mention is that how emotional you are, like how much emotions go, how much you feel everything like you're going through. You can't believe that kind of all your work is kind of amounted to this one thing as well. I think I was a lot more excited definitely when I completed on the second house actually. Was I? I'll put the video so you can decide actually. Yes, today is D-Day, completion day. Today we're completing on my second property, and I say that with so much joy. When I bought my first one, I was happy, but not as much as this one. I feel like this is really the big step. This is kind of like what I wanted. Anybody that knows me knows I've been plotting on that house for years. Since I moved to this, the property I'm living in now, I've been plotting on that property for so long, and it's finally the day. I can't believe it. I just want to thank God for everything and all my friends that supported me. But yeah, we moved. I'm so gassed. This is crazy. My project. I would just slap down, I would just fall down and bang my head. No, I was so happy, man. You know, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. Aye, this was a big one. That one was much more smoother. This one was a big process, but oh my gosh, it is a piece of what is these? Fireplace 1, fireplace 2. You know what I'm saying? In the bedrooms. Anyway, it's what it is. Back in the day, how people used to live, is wild. But listen, guys, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard. I don't want to touch my ear because it's so dirty with all this stuff. Of what's happened, of the blessings that God has given me. I want to pour in this house. You know, it's gonna be. I am so gassed. Like I am unbelievably gassed. I can't believe it. Usually, I'm so much more composed and thing, but today, I'm not gonna lie. No one can chat to me. I'm feeling like myself today. I'm feeling like that guy today. Yeah, man. I just honestly, I thank God. I could not have done this without God. And a lot of friends that persevered through it as well. But that was it, really. That was my entire experience of kind of both completion days. The first one, as I mentioned before, was very kind of like rudimental, kind of like the usual steps that you would expect through a buying process. Collect the keys through the estate agent, go and check the property, look around, pray, and just check if anything is wrong. With the second one, I exchanged and completed on the same day, and I already had the keys a couple weeks before that, so I already had a great depiction of how the property will look like and any issues and problems with it as well. So that was it generally. Yo guys, so it's me, I'm back again, kind of breaking the fourth wall, but currently I'm editing the video you're watching at the moment. And while editing the video, I realized there's actually one clip I really wanted to use. So for anyone that kind of wants to shut off now, this is the end of the video. I'm happy for you to go. I'll catch you in a bit. But for everyone that's staying, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for your support. I think YouTube as a whole has been so difficult for me, because kind of sharing, being so like open and transparent, because anybody that knows me knows that I'm quite a private person. And I think this has kind of like pushed me a lot. And if I'm being honest, I don't know how long I'll be doing YouTube for. Like, it's so difficult and time consuming and a lot of effort. And the only thing that sometimes keeps me going is kind of your support. And I thought, you know, with this clip, I wanted to really include it in the video, because I said, even if I stop tomorrow, I want kind of like a public reminder to kind of keep on growing with the journey, to keep on going on with this property journey, and just a reminder of all the support and love I have as well. So if you're still here, guys, I just want to say thank you so much. But yeah, I'll catch you later in a bit. Peace.
One thing I would say is make sure you record this, make sure you take a snap today. Don't post it, but take a snap, because in a year's time it's going to come up and you're going to remember this.
Yeah.
You're going to remember that family completed. I just think about I should just like pray to just like God for this.
Yeah,
This is just, it's not a small deal. Like 26, I have 2 properties, and the way it came about, and it just seems that family orders is going to keep on rolling. We'll keep on rolling, and we can't take these things for granted.
You're right.
That we able to even have the provision to even first get a house. And then for the provision to even buy things at the right time to even get a second house, and it's not even bad. We're not smarter than anybody, but it's just by the grace of God.
Yeah. You're right. Like when the whole journey and everything goes through, like I'll keep on saying that, like it was so smooth that it can only be God. So when you actually deep everything, it was, fam, this was time in the making. And you're right. I've been telling you, for that house, I've been plotting on that house for time. The petty fair, I've been plotting on that house, and you're right. So no, I appreciate that, man. Definitely, and yeah, no, God's had his hands. This I can't deny that, and that's one thing I don't want to take any glory away from him.
I'm so happy for you.
No, thanks.
So happy.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, get me emotional, man.
This is a big thing. I know that sometimes we can downplay stuff. We can be like, no, like it's not that big because we always wanted to get it. I'm saying me because your success, when I'm seeing your success, I'm just like, nah, this is part of me. I'm not gonna take it.
No, bro, it is, bro. You have a hand in it. I said it, man. No, you're right.
This is amazing. So that's why I'm just like, oh, when I see you succeed, I'm just like, nah, this is actually amazing. I'm so happy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm so proud.
Appreciate it.
And I'm just like, nah, I have to definitely like pray for you, because I pray for you in private, but I have to also be like, I can pray for you in public.
Yeah, no, you're right. Love, bro. End of it. Right.